what it is. We back for another episode. It's your boy Giovanni McFly.
Your boy Showtime.
And this is the Fly Show. Hey, bro, look, we rolling right along, man. You know what I'm saying? It's we 3 episodes in. I just feel like we kind of need to let these people know who we are, man. Like kind of what our background is, where we come from, and why we speak the way we do and feel the way we feel about certain things. You know what I mean?
I agree. It's about that time.
Yes, sir. So we did the rich homie thing, you know what I'm saying, talk about some of the topics that's out there right now, but I think the people really want to know, like, you know, who is Showtyme, what's the background, you know, where you come from, what do you know what I'm saying, what's your music background like, you know, what have you been doing in your past to get you to this point?
Okay, well, from the beginning, man, I started off young with a passion for music, like, and I don't know where it came from, like I didn't have an influence, it's just something that happened. I'd be in elementary school. Instead of listening to the teachers, I'm either writing notes to a girl or writing a rhyme. And I think really what it started off as, we had a talent contest, and my best friend at the time, John Terry, rest in peace, we wanted to jump on the talent show because everybody was doing like magic tricks and just, you know, little, to us it was stupid. So we tried to do this one song and they said we couldn't do it because it was too dirty. So we ended up doing Don't Laugh, bro.
Hey, what song was it?
I know you about to laugh.
Well, what song would y'all want to do?
Jump. That crisscross joint.
But what y'all want to do before that?
I forgot.
Oh, okay.
I forgot.
I was gonna say, they said y'all couldn't do that, but y'all did crisscross.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to crisscross though. Like,
yes, sir.
I ain't even gonna trip on that shit. Crisscross was a movement at us.
Man, it was. I'm telling you, hey, we had the overall shorts backwards. Yeah,
I can see that.
Hey, I'm telling you, I was a miggity Mac.
So how it turned out?
I was great, man.
Y'all won? No.
It wasn't. It wasn't like a winner. It was just a talent show. Like they didn't have a. Yeah, I thought that was stupid. Trophy. Yeah, but we had the best crowd reaction though.
That's what's up.
And so when we did that, like, cause I was so nervous getting on that stage. As soon as after about 30 seconds, it's like, and we in there.
Yeah.
So I was chasing that high ever since, and you know, I never did no major shit. A lot of local stuff and work with a lot of artists, man. And I just love the art, man. Yeah, it's always been in me, you know.
Man, I feel that, man. So like, just tell the folks, like, you know what I'm saying, where you from, man. Like, you know what I mean, I know the story, but just let them know where you from, you know what I'm saying, how you got to where we are here, you know what I'm saying. For those of you that don't know, we reside in Middle Tennessee, so just kind of let them know the background from where you started to where you at right now.
I'm originally from the Boston area, Massachusetts. Then lived all down the East Coast. Was in the military, so you know I have a very broad spectrum of, you know, where I live. I lived in Tennessee for a long time. You know, it's definitely had a major impact on me living in so many different places and getting to see so many different cultures, so many, you know, because the North is very different from the South and the East, and just even different cities. From city to city is different. Yeah. So I felt like I had a big advantage in that way of experiencing every subculture.
Right. I feel that 100%, man. Like, so, shit, we've been doing this 20 plus years now, man. It seemed like just yesterday, but it's been like 23 years, bro, that since we first linked up, you know what I mean, like with the music thing and stuff. So, I know another big part of, and salute to you, bro, and everybody that serves this country, man. We're not just gonna glance over it like it ain't what it is, you know what I mean? So, salute to that. I know another big thing, too, for you, you know what I'm saying, is like, when you look at it from the outside looking in, one of the biggest things about you that stand out to anybody that know you is you being a father and the way that you are with your kids, man. So, like, as far as they go to, kind of just speak to that situation.
Well, I had my kids at a relatively young age. Well, not as young as you, but when I got out the military, you know, we had my firstborn, Mateo. He was 4 months old, and bruh, she got pregnant with twins.
That's
4 months. And so I went from really living by myself, like just barely, you know, trying to figure out manhood.
Yeah.
To then, and she had a son. He was about 8 at the time.
Yeah.
So I went from that to having 4 kids all at once. And
Sure.
you know, me and her, we were struggling trying to figure it out, and became toxic. So I ended up leaving. And you know, the boys came with me, and man, it's just been you know, I have 2 twins. Both of them have autism, so that was a challenge within itself.
Right.
I was still trying to figure out how to be a man myself, and I got to show these guys, you know, and I did the best that I could. But along the way, you know, I figured it out, and I just kept moving forward. And then they're all in their 20s, and then I got another.
Time to start over.
Yeah, I got another son.
Yeah.
And he's 2 years old. His name is Genesis, and the twins named Carlito and KJ. And you know, it was definitely a surprise, but most definitely a blessing. And I wouldn't be where I'm at without them, bro. They kept me grounded and they kept me on the right track. Cause I mean, you know me back in the day, bro. I was out there.
Yeah.
And before that, I was even more out there. So, you know, they definitely keep me grounded.
Yeah, and kind of speaking to that point, bro, like, kind of, you know, we ain't always been what we are today. You know what I'm saying? And it's, speaking of blessings, like, it's a blessing for us to be, we walk through a lot of different stages of life together. You know what I mean? So to kind of give them, you know, a little bit of aspect of, from just a life standpoint, legal standpoint, things that you've been through to get to this point, just to kind of shed light on it, because we're not just here to entertain and talk about topics. We also here to help people get through situations. So just so people looking in don't think that it's always been a certain way, and we've always had things in order, and we still working on things today, but kind of just give people, you know, kind of some of the background as far as the things you've been through to get to where you are today.
Okay. Well, man, I started getting in trouble at a young age. Young age. You know, my parents didn't have a lot of money, and I always had expensive tastes. And, you know, it wasn't feasible at the time for them to be able to provide those type of things. So, you know, I started doing what I could do to make money. I actually had jobs too, but you know, I started selling weed. You know, kind of slick scamming at the same time, because I would pay $20 for 4 grams, and then I would stretch that out. But how I was selling was in joints.
Yeah.
Then I would put some oregano to make it look fat. Then I put 2 papers in there.
Yeah.
So
Make it look like it's more than
I'm rolling 10 joints at $5 a pop.
Yeah.
And I'm over doubling my money. That's how I was doing.
Yeah,
and then, you know, I just kept working up, and then man, I went from being up north to a bigger school to coming down here to the country, and it was a culture shock.
Oh yeah.
It was a culture shock for me and for the people that was around me, because when I came in, like, bro, you could fact check this. My mama would tell you, when the police came to the school searching in the lockers and everything, you remember Becky Horde?
Yeah.
They told her that was in the Colombian drug ring. Not even Colombian, man.
Yeah, but it sounds good.
A Puerto Rican.
Yeah, but it sounds good. Puerto Rican, Colombian.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's brown.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyway, you know, and I ended up.
Shout out to the Colombians though. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's all love. No disrespect. It's just where we from, man. They don't really care. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're not them. So you're whatever they say.
Everybody's Mexican.
Yeah.
Unless you're Colombian.
Or black.
Yeah.
And then you might be a black Colombian.
One shade.
You might be a black Colombian. We don't know. Or a Blaxican. I'm cool, whatever.
A Blaxican.
It's all good, man.
Where was I at? Oh man, I pretty much from like 15 to 18, I was in and out of state custody, group homes, boot camps, independent livings, foster homes. You know, just pretty much being in the system, and that had a profound effect on me, because, you know, I engaged in criminal activity, but I wasn't bad.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, and I was very smart. You take somebody that's that way, and then you basically put them with all the criminals
Right.
in the state and put them in one spot.
Yeah.
So I went from having a little diploma in selling weed and came out with a doctorate.
You got a master's degree now.
Yeah.
A doctorate.
So I just learned how to do it better. But honestly, I was at a halfway house when I was 17, about to be 18. My mom was like, you can't come live with me. Like you're a man now, and I can't condone the things that you do and blah, blah, blah. So I respected it. I said, okay. But I had to make a decision, like if I go out here to the streets, I don't have a job, I don't have a place to live, like, you know what I'm gonna go back to doing. Yeah. And I really didn't want that because I spent my youth, incarcerated. Right. So I decided to go to the military. And I told her, she was like, no.
I don't want that either.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
But that changed my life, and it showed me, like, I got to see the world, and I got to do a lot of things I would have never done.
Yeah, I feel that.
And as far as the legal aspect, I really did good for a while. Like I said, I had 4 kids in 2 years, and they're all under my roof. I kept getting fired, man. And honestly, I was doing my best. It was back-to-back things that were beyond my control.
Yeah.
I wasn't the best worker, but I didn't do the things to get fired, and it just kept happening. So I just I gave in, man, and I was just like, I had my stepson was sitting there, and she was pregnant with the twins, and he was on the floor crying. You know what I'm saying? And it had a deep effect on me, and I was like, we didn't have furniture, like it was bad. So I was like, we ain't never gonna want again.
Yeah.
And I started going down in that life. And then it caught up with me. I really had chilled out, and of course, they were harassing me for a while. They've been on me. You seen it.
Yeah.
Constantly getting pulled over and searched, and it wasn't a right way to live, but I did what I had to do to survive, man. And then I ended up catching a bunch of indictments. Ended up beating 8 of them. Had to eat 4, but I was a veteran, single parent. I was actually in barber school. So all these things played into a part, and they showed some leniency on me. I ended up doing a split confinement and doing the rest on paper.
Yeah.
So that was a blessing, and that's all I needed. Like when I'm sitting against that expedition like this, and my kids are inside the expedition, and they're looking at me, watching me go away, and my step daughters are right there crying, their mama crying.
Yeah.
Bro, it literally took the soul out of my body.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll never put them through that again. Forget me. And then, the twins don't understand nothing. Now all of a sudden their daddy gone.
Yeah.
And then,
and that's all they got.
Yeah, so I ended up, they wanted me to cooperate. I ended up fleeing.
Yeah.
And, stayed gone. And I actually came back to fight my case. Like, I stacked my money up, came back, turned myself in, and fight my case. And so I'd never been in trouble before. I didn't know how it worked. And came to turn myself in at the sheriff's department. Well, we don't have nothing on you. I said, trust me, I have something on me. Yeah. Check again. They even went in the back and talked to whoever they talked to. No, check the police department. Go to the police department. Nothing. Man, it's gotta be some mistake. I'm like, I know as soon as I spend this money.
Yeah, something coming.
So I went back like 3 or 4 times, and I almost got in trouble one time. I said, somebody gonna take me in. They're like, we will if you want to.
Yeah.
But it ain't gonna be for what you think it is. And I was like, I said, so I'm cool. I can go ahead and spend this money. So I went and got a little condo. I got a brand new car. About to move my kids down there. I had got to drive a Nissan. I was about to get hired on the next day and get promoted to lead. And I went to my car. We're having a party that night, bro, after work for my promotion and getting hired on permanent. And I'm walking with my boss. I'll never forget it, man. It's parking lot 9. You know how big Nissan is. I'm going out to lot 9. And, bro, when I tell you, you would have thought Scarface was out there. They had so many police down, drawing down, and I'm like, and my boss is like, and they saying my government name, and he's like, "This some mistake, ain't it?" I lay down, I was like, "Yeah, probably." I was like,
"It probably ain't for me."
I was like, "Y'all still gonna let me come back?" He's like, "Probably."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all both saying the same thing. Probably not.
Man, that's the craziest thing. They brought me in on the capias, which I didn't even know what that was, man. And it's crazy. But it's the best thing that ever happened to me, man. I'm so glad that it happened because it really put things in perspective, man. You take everything for granted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even your kid's smile to
Yeah.
just to doing anything. So, they brought me in on the capias and then brought me back to Bedford County, man. And by then I done spent all my money.
Yeah.
So the rest of the money I had, I made sure the kids were straight, and luckily I had, my mother and her friend had my back, and took care of the kids until their mother was able to, pick up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so ever since then, I have a whole nother perspective on life, man. When you lose everything, like you feel like you get a second chance. Like I had to start from the ground up,
Right.
like from nothing. I didn't have a license. My credit was zero. I was on probation, parole, and community corrections in different counties. Like no vehicle, no furniture. I had to clothes on my back, bro. So I stayed with my mom for a while, for like a couple weeks, and then, the housing authority found out I was there, and
they gonna make a big deal about
I was banned.
Yeah. Ain't supposed to be there.
So, but man, I made it happen, man. And so that's why, like, any single parents out there, especially men, even if you're not a single parent, man, there's not a whole lot of excuse for you to, not handle your business. Like, I'm a felon too. I was homeless. I was everything. So, people do what they want to. If there's something that's important to them, they're gonna make it happen.
Yep.
So, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
And I feel that, bro, and I respect it, like, wholeheartedly, for real. Hell yeah. And that's facts, though, because, like, we both been there, both been homeless, you know what I mean? So, for you to say you can't do it or, somebody holding you back, man, them excuses, bro, like, it's always a way out, you know what I mean? It's a legitimate way out, like, always. So, you just got to go get it. It ain't easy to get up every day and have to go, you know what I'm saying, clock in and be on somebody else's time.
I want to quit every day.
Yeah, but
every day.
But when you chasing something, you got to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thought of it.
Yeah, when you got other people depending on you, like if you fall, everybody falls.
It's over for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And even if you don't have that responsibility of having other people, you know what I'm saying, you never know who's watching you. You know what I mean? Like from the aspect of looking for a way. You know what I'm saying? Like some people look up to you and you don't even know they looking up to you. You know what I mean? So they see you fall. That's okay as long as they see you get back up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all gonna go through stuff. It ain't a matter of what we go through, it's what we get through. So as long as you keep pushing, you'll be alright. So for real, salute to you, brother. For real.
I agree. Thank you.
So that's kind of, the background on my brother, how he came the way he is, man. So when we talking about these different situations throughout the different episodes and things like that, you kind of have an understanding of where it come from and the place that we speak from. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So, man, tell me what it was like for you growing up, like starting off early, like how family situation, how was it coming up as Mike?
Man, it was crazy, bro. Like, for real, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy because, like, even that name, like, it's synonymous with the town, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like when a lot of people in this town know my name and don't really necessarily know me, you know what I'm saying? Like, the real me, you know what I mean? So, man, I'm actually, like, in this area on my grandmother's side, I'm only actually, like, second generation, though, you know what I'm saying? My grandmother wasn't born here, my mom was. But coming up, my mom had her struggles with, you know what I'm saying, drugs and things like that. And it was always crazy. Like, when I was young, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. But people would always be like, who were they talking about me and my sisters? You know what I'm saying? I got 2 older sisters, you know what I'm saying, from the area. So they were always like, whose kids are those or whatever. People always like, oh, those just Doris Sands kids. Like,
shout out to Doris Sands.
Yeah, man, shout out to moms, man. But like, people always used to be like, them just Doris Sands kids, like we wasn't shit, you know what I mean? It kind of it's ingrained in my brain, bro, like I can still hear that shit to this day. So it's like, growing up, we had our struggles, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have a whole lot. My mom had my sister super young. She was still in school when she had my older sister. So we had our struggles, you know what I'm saying, watching her grow up in a household, dealing with abuse, you know what I mean, like my mom used to get beat on and stuff like that a lot, dealt with a lot of men that didn't really care for her personally, you know what I'm saying, treated her bad. And being the youngest, I grew up in an environment seeing that kind of stuff happen, you know what I mean? But and it left a mark, you know what I'm saying? Like growing up seeing stuff like that, I always had like I've never been in a relationship to where I'm putting my hands on women or anything like that for that reason, because I grew up watching my mama go through that. But yeah, it was crazy growing up, man. We didn't have a whole lot. We struggled. Didn't have a refrigerator in the house at one point, you know what I'm saying? But it kind of just, it molded you into, you know, a different person, you know what I mean? Like not having kind of fuel the fire I always want, you know what I mean? So we never really looked at it, like we made the best out of what we had. Grandma always, you know what I'm saying? My granny was crazy relentless. So she used to always go get stuff, you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't settle for nothing, like never take for less. Like we always had to work toward what we wanted, and I seen that growing up, and it kind of just steel sharpen steel is something me and my sisters always say to each other. So it's just part of it, like coming up, bro. We just used to always have to go get what we wanted, and that don't stop to this day. If we want something, we gotta go get it.
Ain't that crazy how that works? The people who didn't have things are the biggest go-getters, and people that handed everything are like,
Yeah, they just like, cause they never had to work for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like when my mom's, with her drug habit and stuff like that, man, it's just like I never wanted to really be involved in the drug game like that. I did what I had to do, you know what I'm saying? I hustled how I had to hustle, but you know me, you've been around me, bro. That's why I never got really into the crack game or the, you know what I'm saying, the cocaine and all of that shit. Like I had my weed hustles and shit like that over the years, but I never got into hard drugs because I grew up in a household and I knew the effect it had on those households. Everybody around me that smoked weed still function. They still took care of their house. One thing for sure, everybody gonna eat in that mug. You know what I mean? 'Cause they high, they gonna eat. They hungry. Kids around, they gonna eat. When you in a household with, you know what I'm saying, crack addicts and things like that, just speaking frankly, like that takes over everything else. Like it's not a matter of are the kids gonna eat or they gonna have this or have that. It's like I gotta go fuel this habit. So over time, it was just one of those things that I never wanted to get involved with it. You know what I mean? And then, you know, I lost my mom was, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the drugs thing. This is early 90s, 94 time frame, 93. My sister left for the military in 95. My grandmother died in 96. So all of the women in my life I lost, you know what I'm saying, essentially within a 3-year span. So that had a resounding effect on me as a young man, because I'm like, I didn't really trust women. It was one of those things where like, I expected every woman that came into my life to leave because they did. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and it wasn't that they fault. You know, I growing up, I realized now my mama had some shit she had to fight. My grandmother couldn't control when she left this earth, and my sister did something she needed to do to better her life. But in the moment, I didn't understand that. I'm 11, 12, 13 years old. None of that made sense. It's just why everybody keep leaving. You see what I'm saying? So over the years, it had an effect on my relationships and shit, because I'm like, this shit temporary anyway. Sooner or later they gonna leave. Why am I gonna invest a lot in this person, in this woman, when sooner or later she gonna be gone anyway? My mama, you know what I'm saying, my granny, my sister did. Why would anybody else stay around? You feel me? So, you know what I'm saying, that's not making excuses, bro. Like I was a shitty ass boyfriend and shit over the years, different things, cheating, doing different shit, but that was the reason for it, is because I felt like all of it was temporary anyway. And I was just being honest about the situation. You know what I'm saying? I was insecure. I even said it in songs, like, it was an insecurity there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I talked to different women and kept different people around, because if you left, somebody else was still there at all times. You feel me? So, you know, that's just, growing up, that's just how it was, man. That's part of it. You feel me?
You know what? But that's a dope thing that you're man enough to reflect on that and be honest. A lot of people, they can't even see or recognize the trauma and the effects that it had and take responsibility for their actions. You know, it's always, well, this and that. It's, everybody else never themselves.
Yeah, and it took a while, you know what I'm saying, because I dealt with a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying, like mentally, depression wise, you know what I'm saying, because I never really dealt with it. It was just one of those things. It was like, it happened, whatever, trying to just put it back in the back of my mind, just keep going, you know what I mean? So that's really what got me into the music, was that, you know what I'm saying, just like transitioning into that mode, was I wrote everything to get out of it. That's how I walked through it. Back in the day, I didn't talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, again, they ain't gonna be here long anyway. So I just held everything in. So that's how I started writing my songs. That was my way to vent. You know what I mean? So over the years, that's how I got everything out, was by writing and shit.
That's dope. And I want to say something before we continue. I just feel like it's something that needs to be said. You know me, I forget. I feel like, man, in our culture that it's normal, the trauma and the depression and all this. We don't think about it because it's life.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
don't feel like we need no help, and it causes so many other issues. Like if you can't talk to nobody, go get some help. There ain't nothing wrong because it's always I ain't crazy. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's just if it can improve your quality of life, whether it's for an emotional aspect, a spiritual aspect. If you can't have a proper relationship, you're not gonna have a great life.
Right. Right. And I think it's kind of the way, you know, the way we was raised, bro. Like, we was always told as men, you don't show emotion, and you don't do this, you don't do that. Man, that's not legit, bro. Like, as humans, you show emotion. It has nothing to do with being a male or a female. Like, you have to show emotions. You have to be able to vent. You have to be able to release. And that's how you rebuild. By releasing, you're able to rebuild on top of it. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to get the bad out to get the good back in. So yeah, don't buy into the whole as men you got to be a certain way. That's not legitimate, man. You gotta be able to do what's best for you and vent how you need to vent.
Yeah, you should be able to talk to your brother, and if your brother comes to you and tells you something, don't look down on him or tell him he weak. Like try to work it out with him because. That's we supposed to build each other up, not break each other down.
No doubt, no doubt.
So, that started you off in the music, and how was that journey? Like, do you remember your first song and like how it felt? Like what, you know? Because we all as artists, when we create that first art, it does something, and that's why you really get addicted to it. Yep. Like what spawned your addiction to it?
Man, I had been writing for a long time, but what really got me into that mode was like I had wrote a song. I don't know if you remember the old UNLV, Drag 'Em in the River. That's one of my favorite songs, a mystical disc. That's one of my favorite tracks of all time, bro. And I got on that beat and did a track. And ironically, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to fam them, man. But it was a diss track to my cousin them GB, Drop Off Click, you know what I'm saying? Because I was young. Yeah, like that's my family, man. Ain't nothing but love there.
Yeah,
like
much love to Mr. Gary.
We was kids, man. Me and little bro seen it, man. You know what I'm saying? We started this McFly shit together, but like me and little bro, they kept coming by telling us they gonna take us to the studio, they gonna do this, they gonna do that, kept over promising. We kids, so they never did it. You know what I'm saying? They had their own thing going. Like I said, I'm a man now. I can look back on the situation and understand it. But in the moment, it's like they keep telling us they're going to put us in the studio, and they never came put us in the studio. Yeah. So the first time I got to touch a mic, I shot off. You feel me? Like, I went in there and took off. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's my first real memory of being able to go record and, you know what I'm saying, be in the studio. But after that, man, it was kind of around the same time that we linked up. You know what I'm saying? I got a call. So Big Smoke, which we know Smoke, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had reached out to my sister, who at the time was working at one of the local restaurants and shit. So he had reached out to her, gave her a card, told her to get in touch with me, like tell me to contact him or whatever, because he heard I was doing the music thing. At the time, like 18, 19 years old. So went out there, man, started recording, and I spent probably the next 6 months in the studio at Small House. Hardly ever, you know what I'm saying, I would go home, come straight back out there, you know what I'm saying, was sleeping in there. I think that's when you first heard about who I was and what I was trying to do with the music, man. And man, me, you, C-Field, you know what I'm saying, my little cousin Smurf, Cristal, my other little cousin. Yeah. Like, we was deep out there, but I literally, like, I felt like I lived there, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was there every single day working. And I ended up doing 7 out of 11 songs on that first mixtape, that Country Kitchen mixtape that he had out. And from there, it kept taking off for me. So, yeah, it was crazy, man. Me and Sino started the McFly Mafia thing, the McFly music group. And then the shows kept coming, you know what I'm saying? I did shows with BG and Buck. I did a show with Jock. I did a show with Young Greatness. Man, Snooty Wild. Webby, like it's a bunch of cats, like, you know what I'm saying, well-known artists that I you know what I'm saying, I've been blessed to be on stage with over the years, man. But I would be remiss to say all of that without saying that local artist DJ Lee, who now he a pastor now, he also family, you know what I'm saying, but I seen DJ Lee doing music and selling tapes, you know what I'm saying, out of the trunk when we lived out east side, you know what I mean? And that's what made it real for me. Like I used to see cats on BET and stuff like that back when I was young, and I'm like, that's cool. Like 8-Ball and MJG, that's what I came up on, UGK, you know what I'm saying, the Cop Boys and all that. But when I seen DJ Lee selling tapes, that's what made it real to me.
Made it tangible.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I was looking at these other cats, I'm like, they so far out there and I can't, they not accessible. When I seen Lee doing it, I'm like, okay, because there was Lee and Quanti Cash and them cats during that day, you know what I'm saying, Greenway, that's when them cats was out. So when I seen that, I was like, yeah, this, I can actually do this, you know what I'm saying, it's a cat that I can touch that's doing it. I can really make something out of this, you know what I'm saying?
You know, I was at that, it might have been a little bit before that, it was mid-90s, I was working at Decades, you remember Decades?
Yeah.
I was working there and he was putting his tapes down on consignment.
Yep.
That's how I met him, and that's the first time I've been to a real studio then. And he took me out there, and I didn't know how it worked. So what I did was, Scarface was my favorite artist at the time, and at the end of the song, the beat just kind of rhymed. So I had a tape player, double deck, and recorded that. I thought he could just sample it and just loop it.
Yeah.
And he was like, really? And he was mad.
Yeah.
He said, nah, man, that ain't how it works. And he sat there right on spot and made me 3 beats.
Yeah.
And then did it. He talked S the whole time, but he did it for me. And they were dope. Like DJ Lee had skills.
Man,
and much love
shout
to
out
Lee.
to Lee, man, for real. Shout out to Lee.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I remember first meeting you, man, because I was going out to the studio working on my stuff and working on Smoke stuff, and we were still trying to figure out recording and the whole process. And I think O'Rig, he was like, it kind of hurt a little bit because he was like, yeah, man, I kept hearing about Geo. And I was like, okay, sound like somebody I might need to. And he was like, yeah, he the hardest working MC out here. And I was like, huh? You ain't see me over there working? And then so I was like, okay. And then when we did the photo shoot, me and you was standing in the back.
Yeah,
and we got to talking, we got to saying what we were saying.
Yeah.
And we instantly clicked, and I was like, yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah, but that's where that came from with Old Rig, is because I was there every single day, bro. Like, he show up, I'm already there. I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm like, I was so hungry. I ain't had nothing to lose, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm coming straight out the streets with it. Like, I ain't had nothing, you know what I'm saying?
You was lucky, because every time I went there, it was a party. I'm trying to get some work done, and there was all kind of stuff flowing through there.
But see, even with that, like, even when we was there and it was parties, I ain't really partaking none of that. It was just like, man, y'all do whatever y'all doing, man. Just keep the noise down. I'm trying to record something. You feel me? So, and that kind of led to a situation, man. Like, I ain't gonna get too much into it, but I feel like it need to be said too, because it's been a long time that a lot of things been said and the truth never really came out, bro. Like, I put a lot of work in during that time frame. You feel me? And if you go back and look at that tape and you see, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they always say, man, like, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. Bro, for me to have 7 out of 11 songs and a few of those songs to be my personal songs on that mixtape, it showed the work that was put in, you feel me? And it was a situation where the record labels was reaching out, sending letters, calling, trying to get in touch with me. And Smoke told them folks that he don't know how to get in touch with me, I'm smoking crack. Like, man, for anybody that know me, bro, I smoke weed, bro. I used to smoke weed. I ain't never partake in nothing else. You feel me? Like, that ain't me. So, like I said, I grew up in an environment, so why would I put myself and my children in an environment? So, that wasn't the move. So, we ain't really see eye to eye since then. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like as a man that was the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? The letters that got sent to the penitentiary to C-Fail. Shout out to C-Fail for keeping the band with me. You know what I'm saying? And calling me and letting me know what was going on. Shout out to Rand too for getting with me, let me know the business. But I just felt like that situation could have went a lot different, because the way that I am and my heart is, and you know what I'm saying, humbly, like, speaking, if I'd have been blessed with a situation, I'm blessing everybody around me. And I think anybody that know me know that. So for him to handle that situation or mishandle that situation the way that it went down, you know what I mean? I think I'll be remiss not to speak on it and let it be known that I know what happened when it happened. In the moment, I knew what happened. But you know what I'm saying? We got to be better than that, not put each other in the type of situation, look out for one another. But you know, everything happened for a reason, man. I done caught my blessings and everything God had for me done came to me, so I ain't really, you know what I mean, I ain't really tripping on, I don't hold nothing against Buddy, but, you know what I'm saying, shout out to Smo, you know what I'm saying, glad everything that came to him, I'm glad it came to him, you know what I'm saying, but, you know, I just feel like that situation, a lot of people didn't understand why things went the way they went, and it was all, you know, remember Chris, you know what I'm saying, that was out there at the time, then his manager wanted one of my songs to be a single, and he felt some kind of way about that. But, you know what I'm saying, we don't grew from it, but that situation changed a lot of things for a lot of people that could have went a different way. Right. You know what I mean?
As music industry, man, is ruthless. It can be ruthless. Yeah, man. I was excited to see you, cause man, in the beginning, we go to the studio together, man. You'd be like, man, I'll come get you every time. And then we go handle our business, and then, you know, we had a little break. I think you moved out of town, and I was having kids and doing that thing, and just to see the progression from you getting around the studio, for you having your own cars and doing shows with mainstream people that are well respected, like. Yeah, it was awesome to see that growth, man.
Yeah, man, it seemed like, I know a lot of people talk about it, like some of that stuff, it just seemed like it happened overnight, bro. Like, for real, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went from not having shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, legitimately, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like trying to put it together. I didn't get my first car, bro. I was 22 years old, you know what I mean? That's when I bought that 300, like 05. But I was like, you know, just going through that situation, man. Like I said, we ain't never had nothing, so it wasn't. I never seen that coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like folks around me didn't really have a whole lot of anything. So when I got to the point to where, you know what I mean, I was able to buy me a car. I actually moved to South Carolina, so that was my little girl was being born, and so when my son was born, I didn't know. Like throughout the pregnancy, I didn't know that she was even pregnant. You feel me? So I didn't get to do none of the doctor's appointments or none of that with my son. Like I found out about my son actually being born through a girl that I was talking to at the time came to me and said something about, you know, the situation. And then when I asked his mama about it, she was like, I don't really even know why people saying I'm pregnant. I'm not even pregnant. Like nobody knew she was pregnant. She just told a couple of people in the neighborhood or whatever. But like I'm honest, she ain't got no doctor's appointments or none of that. So when I found out about my daughter, I moved to South Carolina, and I ain't have shit. I ain't have a car. I ain't have a place to live. I had $200 in a backpack full of clothes. You feel me? But luckily, you know what I'm saying. Again, I ain't gonna say luckily. Like I was blessed that my sister lived in South Carolina at the time. She was in that military out there, so I moved out there, moved in with my sister, and got a job at Fort Jackson. I was working on the Army fort, spraying dishes in the tray room. Terrible job, you know what I'm saying? And it's AIT, so you know when you come out of basic, it's like you in basic, you get a tray, you get your food, you go on. Ain't no picking nothing, eat and go. So it's just you spraying one tray. You get the AIT, now it's a luxury. You got 2-3 bowls, sauces, you get whatever you want. So I'm working in an AIT tray room, bro. Right. So it's like a bunch of bowls and sauces and trays. So and I'm in there in the morning, so I got breakfast and lunch. I'm having to do this shit. It was terrible. But I did that for like 3 months. After that, I got a job working contract security for the Air Force. So a little bit better money, closer to home, and I was able to, you know what I'm saying, kind of get established, you know what I mean, before my daughter was born or whatever. And that's when I bought the 300 and all that. But yeah, it was a rough little stretch. But then just to fast forward through that, you know what I'm saying, like I was also, what people need to understand too was like from the outside looking in, nobody seen it, but I was actually homeless a little bit after that. You know, I got shot out there in South Carolina. Cats was trying to rob me. You know what I'm saying? I got shot. I don't even really talk about it. You know what I mean? I don't think you really can go through my catalog. It really ain't even in none of my songs or nothing. But I got shot out there. You was there. You know the situation. But it's like going through that. Right after that, I was homeless. So I'm sleeping in that car when I moved back home with a gunshot wound because I was getting ready to leave and come back home when it happened. So a few weeks later when I got home, I'm sleeping in the car, still got a fresh gunshot wound, you know what I'm saying? Like, nowhere to go, sleeping outside of my people's houses and shit, just so folks ain't calling the police on me, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's just one of the situations I went through and just had to bounce back from. But, yeah, man, it's been a long time coming, bro. So to be able to sell on the same stages as some of these cats, man, and to, you know what I mean, catch some of these blessings that God sent my way, it's you know what I'm saying, we come a long way for real.
Yeah. and that's what stories that like that I feel like help people, man, because I know when I was in some of my low points, hearing a story from somebody that they were worse off than me and they're better off than me.
Yeah. It changed things.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I don't know how you was, but I wanted to give up a lot, bro. I never did, but like, I mean, I rode that fence several times, like, bro, I just want to give up.
Yeah, it's been plenty of days where I've been sitting around like, man, I don't want to do this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's good to have people like as a sounding board that you can talk to and kind of throw things at it. You know what I'm saying? But it's been times where I done been like, man, fuck the world, bro. I don't want to do this shit at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I done been on the verge just being 100. You know what I'm saying? Cause somebody need to hear it. You know what I mean? I done been on the verge of being like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna off myself. But at the same time, it's like it's too many people that depend on me out here. You know what I'm saying? So for me to just give up, you know what I'm saying, and say I ain't gonna do this when I got kids and family that look to me for strength, I can't get to that point that I ever do that. Now, do I get depressed and be in a situation where I feel like fuck it, I don't want to do it? Yeah. But for me to ever put myself in that situation, I ain't finna do that to myself or nobody else. You feel me? But yeah, man, like to be able to look at somebody and see that and see what they done went through and got past that. Cause like I said earlier, and I always one of the things I lean on, man, is everybody go through stuff, but it ain't really necessarily what you go through, it's what you get through. And if you don't get to the other side of it, you really don't have a story. You know what I'm saying? Because you gave up on something that you might have been 10 feet away from, and you walked 100 feet backwards to get away from it. You know what I mean?
You can't have the testimony without the test.
That's it. So yeah, that's major, man. But it's been times where I had to sit back and give me a drink. You know what I mean?
Hey, speaking of, what is this, man? Said Uncle Near, what's that, 1856?
Yeah, Uncle Near's, man.
That's not the regular.
1856, man.
That's not the regular.
So,
Uncle Near's, is it?
So this one right here, this is 100 proof Uncle Near's. For y'all that don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Shelbyville, Tennessee, born and raised. But Uncle Near's whiskey. So we got the single barrel, we got the master blend, which you can only buy out the distillery, but today we drinking on the 1856. And for every number that you see on the bottle, it's a year that represent a special time in his life. And when I say his life, I'm speaking of Nathan Green, better known as Near's Green. But yeah, man, like it's a whole lot of pride that go into it for me speaking about this and being in this town, because you know, the story, him being a enslaved man, teaching Jack Daniels how to make whiskey, things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? It's very deep, and we're going to go more detailed into it, you know what I'm saying, down the road. We probably have to do a whole episode to talk about this, because
yeah,
the passion, the passion I got for this is crazy. But yeah, man, like for people that don't know, Jack Daniels, Jasper Daniels was actually his real name. This is the gentleman that taught him how to make whiskey, and this is actually distilled in Shelbyville, Tennessee now. Shout out to Fawn Weaver and her husband. Also Victoria Edie Butler, who is she actually makes this whiskey. She's the master distiller for the company. So shout out to her as well. I think she won 3 years in a row, Distiller of the Year. You know what I'm saying?
So she's doing some amazing things over there.
Man. Yeah, and she's actually a descendant of Nathan Green, Nearest Green. So yeah, they doing major things. I think they did like 100 million in sales in 6 years.
I tell you what, it feels like 100 proof, but it don't taste like it.
Nah, it's smooth. Yeah, it's smooth,
real smooth.
It hit though.
That's when you said 100 proof, I had to look.
Yeah,
like, I feel it, but I didn't taste it.
Yeah, it hit like 100 proof, but it's smooth. You know what I'm saying? You see, we sipping on this. It's not a mix. We didn't mix it with anything. We drinking it straight, but it's 100 proof whiskey, man. It's real deal.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it. Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to get me a bottle of that.
Man, I got you. Don't worry about it. We good. And we hope to be able to go out to the distillery, man. Take the podcast to the distillery and kind of show you guys some of what's out there and what's to offer. You know, they actually do tours out there.
Yeah, they got the world's biggest bar too.
They got the
It's
world's
amazing.
longest bar. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's a spot out there called Humble Baron. You can go out there, have you a drink, listen to good music, be around good people. You know what I mean? So it is an attraction in the town now, which that's another reason why I'm so proud of it, man, because there's not a whole lot here. So to have something like that, something that people can come be a part of and be proud of, man, that's major.
You know what I love about them? They actually do stuff with the community.
Yeah.
And that's, I think they brought so much. First of all, they brought so many jobs and just the different events that they have. And I've been out there a couple times, and I just enjoyed myself. My kids enjoyed themselves, and we need stuff like that in Shelbyville because there's not a whole lot here.
Not, there's hardly anything here, but it's a beautiful situation. I actually used to be on that farm as a teenager. I had a high school friend of mine. Her mom used to run that farm out there. So being able to go back out there now, man, and see that place to where I used to spend time as a teenager and see what it's grown to be today, it's a beautiful thing, man. So if you ever in the area, just visiting, I know a lot of people go out to Jack Daniels, and rightfully so, but you know, if you really want the history of what's going on, and this is whiskey country, you know what I'm saying? Don't be confused. If you want bourbon, that's Kentucky. But you come around here, we got Jack Daniels, we got George Dickel, and now Uncle Nearest, and this is, like I said, this is major. It's near and dear to my heart.
Double shot.
Yeah.
What kind of cigar go good with that?
What
kind of cigar go good with that?
Man, I usually just do the Cubans, man. Something sweet.
You want to light something up next time.
I mean, yeah, most definitely. But yeah, that's one of them, man. Like, one of the few things in this world I'm truly passionate about is that Uncle Nearest, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro, we definitely got to go out there and do a full episode.
Yo, I'm looking forward to that, man, because I haven't been on a tour. I've been out to eat and had some drinks out there and looked at the property, been to some events.
Yeah.
But I never got to tour, and you know, you gave me the rundown, but I haven't been there. And like, so to do that and be filming at the same time, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. We gotta definitely make that happen, not only for ourselves, but for, you know what I'm saying, the viewers too, though. But yeah, bro, like, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, we gave a piece of who we are, what we about, where we came from, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of the history about the whiskey in the area we in. I think next time we jump into another episode and give them the entertainment piece they want, but now that they know who we are, where we come from, I feel like we can probably just wrap this thing up, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, thank y'all for joining. Please like and subscribe. We're building this channel from the ground up. Support your boys. For more content, hit that notification bell.
Man, share this thing, share it again, and share it again if you ain't shared it the first 2 times.
And when you're done with that, share it one more time.
Yes, sir. Hey, this your boy Giovanni McFly.
Showtime.
And this is the 3rd episode of the Fly
For
Show.
sure.